3, 2, 1. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to the Celtic Forever podcast. Xander here to go through everything Celtic. We'll go through the postponement of the Celtic game, all the latest Celtic news. We're going to do the preview of the Dundee game and the Scottish Cup as well. Everything else in between. And there's a lot to get through, so let's bring in John. How are you, John?
All right. Happy with that. Postponement another night there. What an absolute shambles that was. Good place to start, I suppose.
Brilliant place to start, John. And there's quite a wee bit of interesting news to go through the day, actually. But we'll start with that game against Aberdeen, postponed for absolutely nothing, John. Many times we've been up at Aberdeen, it's been snowing, it's been heavy rain. I mean, when we were doing inspection of the park, the ball was running freely with the wee video I put on anyway, the bit that showed you on the wee video that I put on. Ball running freely, no big puddles anywhere. Drainage looked okay. Okay, yes, it was a wee bit muddy. Throw a wee bit of sand on top of that, should be okay. But for me, John, that was an absolute farce. And before you answer, John, hit that like button, folks. Forgot to mention that the likes were very low in the last video. So hit that like button just now while you're sitting listening to us, if you don't mind. But John, what did you make of that postponement? An absolute joke of a decision by the referee.
As soon as I seen it on the Celtic news page, it's pitch inspection, I knew it was going to be cancelled. I just knew it was going to be cancelled. Well, I don't know if there's anything underhand in what happened there, or the pitch was genuinely unplayable. I really don't know. It looked all right to me, apart from a wee bit of dirt in the goal mouth. We've seen that for years in Scotland. But as soon as I seen that pitch inspection thing, I knew it was going to be cancelled. Aberdeen are on their knees, of course. No manager, losing other players to injuries. Celtic getting up their own form. They cancel the game. Look into that what you will.
Yeah, looking at that, but you will, and I know exactly why the game was cancelled. Absolutely pathetic, John, after Hearts losing against St Mirren the night before. We'll know the reason why. Call us paranoid if you want. I couldn't care less if you think we're paranoid. That was the reason why the game was cancelled, because Celtic were building a bit of momentum. Let's be perfectly honest about it, John. It was only a few months ago, March, February last year, John, actually 12 months ago, we were playing up at Livingston in the snow on a plastic pitch. You know, if you're going to talk about danger, that's danger. Playing in the snow on a plastic pitch. You know, this was a grass pitch with a wee bit of water. Absolute disgrace of a decision. And of course, Rangers take the benefit of that in the same night, playing Kilmarnock at Ibrox. We said they were going to win that. But of course, they get that helping hand, John. Kilmarnock down to 10 men after the second minute, John. So, you know, you take all that into account, we know exactly what's going on.
Exactly. I mean, I've been watching videos. I've been watching the videos with the Tavernier incident. It's a straight red. If Austin Trustees is a red card, that's worse than Trustees. That guy's right through and goal. Right through the middle. The Trusty one's going out for a throw-in or something. Or it's gone in that direction. And there's a covering player. Tavernier, the guy's right through and goal. There's no covering player. And he gets away scot-free for it. That's a disgraceful decision. And by the way, on the Celtic Aberdeen game, I've been watching all the videos, and all I'm seeing is delighted Sefco fans. That shows you what it meant to them. They're celebrating yet again, going second. It's all there, every single video with Celtic videos. They're all laughing, they're loving it because they've went second. I'm in no position to tell them what to do, who they support and what they do, how they support it. But celebrating going second, get a grip of yourself, man. There's absolutely nothing to celebrate going second in the league table. Celtic we've all got our eye on the top spot. Until Celtic get to that top spot and go maybe 6 or 9 points clear, that's when I'll start even thinking about celebrating. But you see what it means to lesser clubs like Sefco. To go second, it's like winning a league to them.
Yeah, of course, John. 10 men for the entire game for Kilmarnock. And the game before that, Ibrox before that, John, 10 men against Dundee as well. 10 men for Dundee. Rangers at Ibrox. You know, this is how they're getting their points, John. They struggle against a half decent team, Hibs, one each, and these Ibrox games, they're opposite teams are getting sent down to 10 men. It's a disgrace, and it's so obvious. They're not even trying to hide it anymore, John. And then you look at the decisions with Celtic as well. Abandoning that game is just an absolute joke of a decision, and then all your decisions against Hearts, etc. Blah blah blah. We can go on and on about that, John. All we want to say on it, as we know what's gone on, it's down to Celtic to, you know, rise above the Buster Keaton, John. Rise above the Buster Keaton, and I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll be okay. Let's continue with the news then, John. Let's continue with that. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, easy for me to say. Chamberlain, John, is going through a medical on Saturday, the same day Celtic are actually playing, John. So he goes through his medical on Saturday. Martin O'Neill has confirmed that, yes, there's a chance we're going to be signing this player. So gives us a boost our striking options, if you like, John, our winger options, if he's going to play him. And on the wing, we don't know what position he's going to play him because he's 32-year-old now. But he is a quality player, John, and he will add a bit of quality to the squad.
He'll add experience more than quality, I think. It's good to have that experience. We need that at Celtic. There isn't that much experience. Callum McGregor, the goalkeeper, and now Chamberlain. That'll be the experienced players at Celtic. There isn't Carter Vickers, you could count him, but he's out for the season. So that doesn't really count. But it's good to add a bit of experience and quality to the team. I says he'll add more experience than quality, but he will add quality as well. He's a decent player. Kind of reminds me of the Lubo Moravcik deal a wee bit. Arriving at Celtic at 32 years old, getting written off by everybody. So it kind of reminds me of that a wee bit. If he's half the player Lubo was, we've got a player.
Yeah, if he's half the player Lubo is, we'll be okay, actually. But, you know, then you can look at the flip side of the coin, John. It could be a James McCarthy situation. Came to Celtic 3 or 4 years sitting on the bench, couple of years sitting on the bench, picked up the wages, didn't play a single game. But I don't think that's going to be the case, is it?
I don't think so, no. See, James McCarthy's problem is he was injury prone, apart from being absolutely rotten as well, but he was injury prone as well. He was picking up injuries constantly. That's mostly the part why he spent his time sitting in the stand collecting 30-40 grand a week for the pleasure of watching his favourite club. It's not a bad life, that, is it?
Not a bad life at all, is it? Yeah, so we're hoping that Oxlade-Chamberlain can start most games for Celtic, John. That's what we're looking for, whatever the manager decides to play him. Right, okay, let's move it on. By the way, he's ineligible to play in Europe, John. We didn't get that signing. The deadline was Thursday night, so we didn't get that signing in on time to play in Europe. The two games against Stuttgart, John. So he's here for the domestic games.
Well, we're going to need everybody available for the domestic games. And look, the domestic games is all that matters to me. It's all that matters. I don't really care about all the other stuff in Europe. It's all about the domestic game. We need to get to the top of that league, and we need to shut these Hearts and Sefco fans up who are all over social media bragging and laughing at Celtic. Every wee thing that goes wrong with Celtic, they're all laughing, and it just shows you the absolute hatred for them, doesn't it? The absolute hatred for Celtic between the two clubs and other clubs as well, by the way. It's not just they two, but mostly them two. I'm not saying all Hearts and Rangers fans are like that. I've seen some decent comments from them as well, but 99% of them, they're there for laughing at Celtic. They seem to forget Celtic are the champions. And they seem to forget that Celtic are very, very much in this title race. Celtic will go on and win this title, Xander. It
is looking good, especially with all the players we've brought in now. John gives us that a wee bit of extra backbone. And of course, we've got players returning from injury as well. So yeah, I totally agree with you, John. I think we could quite comfortably go on and win this league. If we win, so it's quite simple. We win the remaining games for champions. It's not as if we're relying on any other team like we were before St Mirren beat Hearts, John. We were relying on Hearts to drop points because we've only got to play them one more time. And of course, St Mirren got the 3 points, which was absolutely tremendous. We'll touch on that a wee bit later on. Let's continue with the news for the time being, John. Stuttgart obviously coming to Glasgow in February, John, and 30,000 Stuttgart fans have applied for tickets for Celtic Park, John. Would you make of that? I know Celtic are looking at upping the allocation for the away support, but I'll not be anywhere near 30,000, will I? I don't think so anyway.
I can't see it. I mean, that's half the stadium. It's a 60,000 seat stadium. I don't think Celtic are going to give Stuttgart half of Celtic Park. That's just not going to happen.
No.
I mean, I don't want to see it anyway. When it comes to home advantage in Europe, you certainly don't want half of the away team's fans there. 30,000 of them, that's a lot of fans. I don't want half of them there. I want the Celtic's home advantage at Celtic Park. 5,000 tickets, I'll be happy enough with that, but certainly no 30,000. I wouldn't even consider that. That's just ridiculous.
No, they'll get that usual wee corner they get. I don't know what the number is, 5 as you say, John, maybe as much as 8, who knows. They might get that 8,000. Depends on what the sale of Celtic tickets are for this game. Obviously, the season book holders deadline is today for that, John, for the Stuttgart game. So it depends what the outcome of that is going to be, and then they can look at allocation for the away support, John. But I think that's quite impressive. 30,000 Stuttgart fans applying for tickets for Celtic Park. Absolutely tremendous. Well done to every one of them. But you're all going to get the 5 or 6 possibly coming at Celtic Park. So that was quite impressive, I thought. Let's move on then, John, because there is quite a wee bit to go through. But we'll get to the Dundee preview very, very soon, folks. We will get to that, and we'll have another wee word on the Postponement in the Aberdeen game and all the other fixtures that happened in midweek. We'll do a predictor in about 15 minutes, John. But I wanted to have a wee word on our rivals, John. Obviously, we've already mentioned they played Kilmarnock against 10 men on Wednesday night, and before that they played Dundee Ibrox against 10 men, also guaranteeing themselves 3 points every time they play Ibrox because of referees sending off opposite players. And not just sending players off, John, but penalties being handed out as well, and opposite teams being handicapped by Rangers not getting sent down to 10 men. All this kind of stuff is back happening again, John. We saw this disappear for a season there. I think it was the last season or the season before. I think they only had 1 penalty all season. I don't know how many penalties it is they've got so far this season, and there's still 14 games to go. But anyway, apart from that, they're not only cheating on the park, John, they're cheating off the park as well. It's in the news today that the Rangers players have been using the hotels booked by Rangers for the players for, let's say, not physio treatment. Let's put it that way. It's in the news. They're cheats on and off the park, allegedly. I don't know if you saw that one, John, did you? The hotels the Rangers players have been using it for other things other than physiotherapy.
What other things?
Well, when I say cheats, what else can that mean, John? If they're cheating on the park and they're cheating off the park, apparently one of the players' wives found out about this, and it's all over the news. I'm surprised you've not saw it, John.
No, I've not seen it, but I knew exactly what you were talking about when you says that about the cheating. Kind of put 2 and 2 together there. By the way, I haven't seen their sending off. I never seen the Kilmarnock player being sent off. Was that cast iron, or was it a bit dubious?
Well, 2 minutes gone, John. Normally, when it's 2 minutes gone in a game, you give the player, the benefit of the doubt. Even if it's a heavy tackle, you'll give them a yellow and warn them that one more is a red. But I don't know what the circumstances was. All I saw was a wee red card square next to the boy's name. And that was enough for me, John. That was enough for me. That's all I needed to see. 2 minutes gone and Dundee down to 10 men. It's an absolute disgrace, John. It really is. No matter, unless a Rangers player got his leg broken, which I doubt happened very much. It was, for me, John, they're not even trying to hide it now, the SFA and the referees, John. They're not trying to hide it. It's open for everybody to see. Let's have a wee quick look at it, see what happened there, John. It was Thompson got sent off in the 3rd minute. So there you go, John. Thompson, whoever D Thompson is, got sent off in the 3rd minute. I don't know if it was let's have a wee look to see if it tells you what. Dom Thompson sent off after 3 minutes. Here's what happened here, actually. I've got it here. Make out of this what you will. So there was only 3 minutes on the clock when Gassama nipped in behind Dom Thompson, with the Kelly fullback dragging down the Rangers winger. So it's a pullback, John. It's a pullback and a penalty. No, I thought there was no double jeopardy in these situations. If it's a penalty, it's inside the box, that's punishment enough. There's no red card. I thought that was the rule. Smells like a yellow card and a penalty to me all day long. Anyway, John, doesn't matter. The points are there. They've got the points. They move into second place, celebrating like it's Guy Fawkes night again. Fireworks everywhere for being 3 points ahead of Celtic in the league. With Celtic,
I don't get that. I'm not sorry for interrupting you, but I just don't get that celebrating going second. Like I said earlier, I've seen the comments all over the place, and it's full of Rangers fans and Hearts fans all laughing and all that. The problem with them, Xander, is fear. They absolutely fear Celtic. They're scared of Celtic winning this league. They're terrified. I don't know why, because it should be normal to them, Celtic winning the league, but they're absolutely terrified. And the reason you're seeing dubious decisions at Ibrox all the time is because Sevco are actually in the running right now, whereas before they were out the game basically, 15 points behind and all that. They had no chance of winning the league. But see, now that they're in the running, you're going to see a lot of this dubious decisions.
Yeah, that's it, John. That's it. You're absolutely bang on. And it's going to continue right to the end of the season. But we've got to be strong enough to rise above that, I suppose, John. And of course, Rangers signed a goalkeeper on loan from Dunfermline, and his name is Mason. How fitting is that? The BBC, John, I read the BBC report from Rory Loy on the Rangers versus Kilmarnock game in midweek there. And I've never seen a guy so excited playing against 10 men in my life, going on about Mikey Moore, the best player on the planet. Mikey Moore, the best player on the planet. So the BBC are absolutely loving it as well, John.
I don't know. I mean, the young boy's a half-decent player. I'm not going to say it not bad about the young boy. He is a half-decent wee player. But to get overexcited about a player like that, he's no better than anything that's in the Celtic B team, to be honest with you. But I'm just being honest, what I've seen, he's a half-decent wee player. Celtic B team full of half-decent young players like that, full of them. But to get excited about somebody like that, over the top, to say the least.
Yeah, over the top, exactly, John. We quick mention of the competition before we continue with the news. There's still wee bits of news to go, believe it or not. But the competition, Dundee game at the weekend, one guess each into the comment section to get 3 points on the league table on your left-hand sides. Everybody get your guess in. John sitting at the top, Colin second. I think it's Mad About Football, and then everybody else, Roseanne, etc., below myself as well with 9 points and a few others. And everybody else, there's even some people there still not got a point on the board. So get your guess in for that, folks. Try and get your 3 points on the board. Don't miss out on the chance to get that 3 points, because there is a few people missing out over the last couple of weeks, and then they're coming back, putting their guesses in again. So you're missing out on a great chance to win the great prize. And what I'm also going to do this week, John, because of the Aberdeen game, I am going to give everybody a second chance again. We don't do this very often, but because the game is off in midweek, everybody missed out on their chance to get 3 points. I'm going to add the Celtic B game as well against Kilmarnock, John. So we'll go through that a wee bit later on. But get your thinking caps on, folks. I'm going to give you the Celtic versus Kilmarnock, Celtic B, against Kilmarnock game as well for an extra added 3 points. Well, it's not an extra added because you missed out on the chance against Aberdeen in midweek because of somebody spat on the pitch and the game was abandoned. Right, John, let's continue with the news before we get to the big preview of the Dundee game Saturday. Right, John, let's get into this big preview then. This game on Saturday, 5:30 kick-off. The game's on Premier Sports, I'm sure. It's a funny kick-off. It's a late kick-off on a Saturday again. But, you know, it's a game I'm looking forward to. It's a cup game, gives us a wee break, I suppose, from Europe and the league. Of course, we did get the break midweek there against Aberdeen where the game was postponed. So I just hope everybody that was heading up there, you know, weren't too far up the road and managed to turn around and go home safely. But, you know, a lot of Celtic supporters out of pocket with that one, I'm afraid. But at least the players, John, got a rest and they should be fully fit, fully fresh and fully focused for Dundee at Celtic Park.
Aye, well, this is the thing, isn't it? As a rest for the players, that's the only positive. The only one positive you can take out of that is the players got themselves an extra couple of days rest, which they probably needed. But for me personally, it's all about getting points on the board. Games in hand doesn't just fills you with fear that you're having to play. I mean, Aberdeen were on their knees, and that could have been 3 vital points, Sander. I knew by the time we play Aberdeen, I know the fixture was announced when it's going to be played. I can't remember when it was, but by the time we play them, they'll probably have a manager on board and the players will be up to speed again.
Exactly. Yeah, good point, John, actually. And another point, actually, is these red cards that the Rangers teams, have been playing, Dundee, Kilmarnock, and whoever else. There's been a few others. It's goal difference as well now, John. You've got to look at the goal difference. Opposite teams down to 10 men. You're at home. It's going to give you a much better chance to get more goals on the board.
Aye, well, this is it. It's goal difference as well. What was the final score by them against Kilmarnock?
5-1, it finished.
5-1, was it? That's a scalping, isn't it? But
yeah.
You're expecting right enough. It's all about getting points on the board, and 5-1 is a scalping, and it's gave them a big advantage in the goal difference department. But look, there's a lot of tough games to go in the league. That's the way I look at it. They're going to have to go. Is it Motherwell next they play away from home?
Yeah, Motherwell away, and then Hearts at Ibrox. So Hearts will be down to 10 men.
Aye, no doubt about it. Look, they've got a tough game. Motherwell's not going to sit and let them run riot like that. That's not going to happen. I mean, Kilmarnock, they were off the back of a decent win, 3-0 against Aberdeen, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Aye, 3-0 against Aberdeen. Yeah. And then they go to Ibrox and get a man sent off at the first minute or whatever it is. That's not going to fill a Kilmarnock team with confidence. That there's only one outcome after that, really, and that's giving the Sefco zombies all the help they need in the world to gain a goal advantage. So, that's a sore one for Celtic.
Yeah, that's it, John. And I'm going to have a look at that penalty in the second minute. Actually, I've not looked at it to make a full comment on it, but I will have a look at that and we'll get back to you on that, John. Okay, the game is, as I say, on Premier Sports at 5:30. The referee for this one is Ryan Lee. He's the man in the middle with Dickinson on the VAR, with Dallas, John Dickinson and Dallas on the VAR. But we're hoping that we should be comfortable enough to, see this one through and not have to rely on any dodgy VAR decision, John, going against us.
This Dickinson character, he's a wronging him. He is an absolute wronging. Don't care what anybody says. I've seen enough of him now. I know we laughed and joked the first time we heard his name, calling him bargain hunt and all that stuff. But it's no laughing matter now. The guy's a wronging. And so is his partner on VAR, Andrew Dallas. We've got a few wrongings now. We've got Dickinson, Dallas, Robertson and Beaton. It's mounting up, innit? It's starting to look like the old days.
Yeah, it sure is, John, it sure is. But we're still a team full of quality to overturn all these terrible decisions, John. And, decisions are not being great for us this season either. There's been a lot of, a couple of games with red cards as well. There for Celtic down to 10 men a couple of times as well. So we'll keep an eye on it anyway, John. We will keep an eye on it. But that's the referee anyway for this one, Ryan Lee, man in the middle. A wee quick look at the odds for this one. 2-11 Celtic, roughly 1-6. Strong favourite Celtic in this one. 13-2 the draw, roughly 71 the draw, and 14-1 Dundee to go through to the next round. These are obviously odds on 90 minutes, not any extra time, or penalties. It's just in the 90 minutes. We'll have a wee quick look at Dundee, John, before we go into the Celtic squad, because I need your predicted starting 11 for the Celtic team in a wee minute. Will they start with the new boys? Will they go with the tried and trusted? We don't know, but that's for you to think about, John, for a wee 5 minutes. I'll quickly go through the Dundee stuff for a wee minute. Players that are out, etc., John, and I'll run through the starting 11 as well for Dundee, predicted starting 11. So, Comiteo, centre-back, knee injury, he's out. Clark Robertson, centre-back, thigh injury, he is also out. Ashley Hay, he's a forward, he's out with a broken toe. Joe Westley, he is out with an ankle injury, but they brought in a couple of new signings. John Scott Wright, he came in, new signing in the January transfer window, and Montsma also came in, a new signing for Dundee in transfer window. So up and down news there for them, a few out and a couple in the door as well. So that's the Dundee Injuries, etc. John, the predicted lineup for me for Dundee in this one is McCracken and goals. John, will we have any jokes about McCracken? And the post-match to this one, McCracken and goal, Halliday, that's Brad Halliday, Astley, Graham, Wright, Dundee, Cotterill, Hamilton, Congreve, Yogain and Murray up front for Dundee. John, that's the predicted 11 for Dundee. As regards to me anyway, that would be the starting lineup for them. Celtic, John, for you, what's your starting 11 for Celtic?
Aye, McCracken's a crack name, innit? It was just every time I hear that name, it just goes back to Celtic TV about 15, 20 years ago. What's his name? The guy that does Celtic TV?
Jerry McCulloch.
Jerry McCulloch, aye. The guy that... See, that guy, I don't dislike Jerry McCulloch, by the way, but I always go back to him being on Radio Clyde when he used to host the Radio Clyde phone-in, and a Rangers fan was ribbing him. Who do you support? Who do you support? I don't have to tell you that, Jerry McCulloch was saying. Who is it you support? How come you can't tell us who you support? He says, all right then, when I was a boy growing up, I used to support Celtic. Everybody bear that in mind every time you see his face. Total soup takers under.
Yeah, there's no need for that. No, he didn't answer the boy, did he? That's the bottom line. If you don't want to tell anybody, then you don't need to tell anybody. So he gave into pressure as well. So yeah, used to be a Celtic supporter, now he's on Celtic TV. Yeah, good point there, John, actually.
Aye, that's cracker, innit? I used to support Celtic. Imagine saying that when if anybody ever asked me that, no matter what position I was in, who do you support? Glasgow Celtic, and proud of it. I would never say, oh, when I was a boy, I used to support Celtic.
Yeah. Sorry, John, to interrupt. He said that to keep himself in a job, and look what happened to him. He gets sacked. So, so he'd say that, that was for nothing.
Aye, well, he is a Celtic supporter, but just don't kid on your no a Celtic supporter to appease a blue nose, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
Anyway, talk about him when he says McCracken. That was a cracker. When he was reading out the comments, he used to read the comments out in Celtic TV. Anybody listening that doesn't know, they used to read the comments out, and he read a comment out, and he says at the end of it, and that was from a Phil McCracken.
You got quite a belter. I remember it well, actually. That was from Phil McCracken. Hey, let's move on.
No, I think, I was watching that game with you at the time.
That's right.
I was in your house watching that game. That was about 20 years ago. And the way you said it was, and that's from a Phil McCracken. He just noticed it at the last second, kind of thing.
Yeah, I remember. Yep.
But there you go, everybody. Jerry McCulloch, pretending he was just a Celtic fan when he was a boy, and Phil McCracken, he fell for it.
Yeah, he fell for it. Absolute classic. All right, John. I'll be a quick word on, before you give me the lineup actually for Celtic, John, I'll be a quick word on players returning, etc. So that's actually fully fit, especially after no playing on Wednesday night. So he's fully fit. Trusty, he returns from suspension, so he's available again. Also, in the actual, we know he's fit anyway, came on in Europe, didn't he? And Celtic unbeaten, John, also in our last five, our last 5 games. So, yeah, since Martin O'Neill's came back, we're unbeaten, John. So that a great start for Martin O'Neill there, John. Absolutely fantastic. But a few returning there, John. Sirachi, Trusty, and Iniacho before you give us your starting 11.
Aye, Iniacho, was watching him in the training video. He's always got a smile on his face, Iniacho, when you see him. If he's getting interviewed and all that, or he's on, you watch these training videos on YouTube from Celtic TV and all that. It just looks like a really good lad to be around. Full of smiles, always laughing. Just looks like a good, honest boy in the actual. But anyway, Celtic lineup. Don't think we'll see significant changes. I think we'll have to go out strong for this one, to be honest with you, because Dundee are a good team, half decent wee team, Dundee.
Yeah.
So I think we'll go out strong for this one with Schmeichel, Trusty, and Scales. You might see some of the new boys coming on in the second half if we're ahead. But anyway, Schmeichel, Trusty, and Scales, Araho, Kieran Tierney, Callum McGregor, Arnie Engels, and Benjamin Nigren up front, Dyson Maeda. Cavanchar, I think you pronounce his name, no sure. Cavanchara, however you want to pronounce that, but it'll be Dyson, Cavanchar, and you maybe see one of the new boys starting on the right hand side. I'm not too sure, but just to be safe, I'll play Yang.
Yeah. But he's got to go strong into John because we've not had a game in a week, so he will go strong, I think. But we'll wait and see. That's down to Martin O'Neill, his decision, his choice. We'll wait and see. Because he might throw in one or two, outsiders if you like. But if he does that, it's a bit risky. Dundee are a Premiership team. It's not like Rangers against lower league opposition at Ibrox yet again. John, we have got Premier League opposition and a very, very tricky team. Dundee, John, of course, putting us to the sword a couple of months ago at Dens Park.
Look, that doesn't count. If you're talking about Wilfred Nancy era, none of the defeats count. I don't look at them as defeats. I look at them as Celtic taking a break from winning. I know it's a strange way of looking at it, but when I look at that Wilfred Nancy, I don't look at that as a poor Celtic team. I look at that as Celtic under no management at all. And it'll just look like they were taking a break out. A time out from winning, something like that. I can't even look at that era with any seriousness, Sander. I just can't look at it with any seriousness. We're getting turned over by all sorts of guff, especially Sefco, you know what I mean, at Parkhead. It just shouldn't be happening. It just should not be happening. An absolutely rank, rotten Sefco team on their knees, and they managed to turn us over. So the games, although they do matter, of course they matter, we lost a lot of points, but I just can't look at that with any seriousness at all. Yeah,
well, Dundee did get the 3 points, John. What a night that was when you think back, wasn't it? Dreadful, absolutely beyond dreadful, actually. But they do return to Celtic Park, John. And I'm going to need a prediction off you for the Predictor and the league table, John. Not for the Predictor, for the league table, sorry. We're going to do the Predictor in a wee minute, actually. There's quite a few games in that. But, John, for this one, tricky, stuffy. We don't know what Dundee's going to turn up. They're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. We don't know. They're not very consistent, are they? But I need a score prediction off you anyway for this one, John. What do you think?
I'm thinking fan boycotts, will that affect the team? Small crowd, all that stuff. But I'm not sure if that will affect the team or not. Martin O'Neill will make sure that the players give 100%, that's for sure. But they need to put in a better performance than they did against Falkirk. They need to put in a far better performance. I know the boys were tired playing in Europe and all that stuff, but they've got to put a better performance in. They've got to be on the front foot and they've got to control the game. They've got to totally control that game. You can't go out and play like they did against Falkirk again at Celtic Park, Sander. That can't be allowed to happen again.
Yeah, that's it. It's, we have got the fresh blood in the team now, John, all these new faces, new players. And I do think that will actually help, and especially if we get Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain over the line as well on Saturday. That'll boost the players as well, John. Having somebody with pedigree in the squad as well, John, because we do have players with pedigree, of course we do, but to have someone like him in the squad as well, John, a very, very decent player, top quality player actually, in his day. Will he still have the same level of performance in him? We hope so, obviously. Will he have the same pace? We also hope so as well. But, we're signing this boy and we're putting him on big wages for a reason, John. He must still be okay. He must still have, those abilities about him if he's signing for Celtic. Martin O'Neill wouldn't sign somebody that's dead in his feet, let's put it that way.
Martin O'Neill obviously knows the boy better than us. He's obviously seen him a lot more than us. I don't know what his physical condition is. He's only 32 years old. He's not like 38 or 40 or something like that. Not that that's old, but in football player terms, it's old.
Yeah.
But a 32-year-old can still offer a lot. England international, of course. So he's going to be a decent player. To play for England, let's be honest, you've got to be a decent player. So yeah. I think he will be decent for Celtic. I think he'll do a job. It kind of reminds me a wee bit of I said Lubomir Moravcik earlier, but it kind of reminds me more of the Bellamy when he was at Celtic. It kind of reminds me of that deal.
Yeah, the Roy Keane, etc. I know a different position. Roy Keane, Bellamy, and Keane. The other Keane, Robbie Keane. Yeah, these sort of deals, weren't it?
Aye, that's right. Aye.
Yeah. So Mvuka, John, no place for him in the start lineup for you. Big centre back Arthur, no place for him either. And Adamu, the striker, John. All these guys are starting on the bench for you and for me as well, actually, John. I think you will go strong in this one. Right, what's your prediction anyway, John? What should we think, buddy?
I definitely think he will go strong anyway, aye, definitely. I don't think there'll be any starting place for any of the new boys. Arajo and Cavancha, both of them will start. And you maybe see a wee substitute appearance from the other ones. I'd like to see a substitute appearance from Sirachi, by the way. I look forward to seeing him back in the team. Definitely one of our best players, Xander. But you know my feelings on that guy. When he plays, Celtic fire on all cylinders. I love him. I think he's a cracking player.
Yeah, and of course, there's no really... Yeah, of course he's a cracking player, John. But, you know, Tierney's beginning to pick up the form. I've noticed his running is getting a lot stronger. His crossing's getting a lot better, and he's taking the corner kicks now, Tierney, isn't he? So he's picked up the pace slightly, John. So it will be tough for Sirachi to get back in. We'll wait and see. It's down to Martin, isn't it? It's down to Martin. And of course, on midweek, we've got another game as well. So he'll maybe have that in the back of his mind as well, John. But it is Livingston at Celtic Park. So take out of that what you will. Right, we shall score for this game then.
All that talking, I wasn't even thinking about the scores, but let me just think this one through. I think it will be a strong starting 11 for Celtic. It's a cup game, you've got to bear that in mind. Dundee will play totally different from what they normally do at Celtic Park in a cup game. They might try and defend it and look for penalties. But you've got to think Celtic to be too strong. I'm going for another clean sheet here, and I'm saying 4-0 to Celtic.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of confidence about the place with the new signings in the door. The fan issue is obviously a worry because, say, there's only 20,000 there. There's not going to be any atmosphere at the stadium, so that's a bit of a concern because Dundee are, as I've already said, a Premier League team. So I'm going to go the 3-0, John, in this one. Against Dundee, and that brings us nicely on to the Predictor then, John. And by the way, all these Predictor games are Scottish Cup games, so it's 90 minutes only for us in the Predictor, and it's also 90 minutes in the league Predictor as well. Anybody put their guess in for that one, Celtic versus Dundee, is over 90 minutes only, folks, right? So just bear that in mind when you're putting your guess in. Right, John, the Predictor, let me quickly run through that. There's quite a few games in this Predictor this week, John. It's currently sitting at 22-18. John, I got 3 right over the last week or so. I got Livingston, Falkirk 2-1, Stuttgart 3-0 I got, and Rangers Porto 3-1 also. John, I got the 3 correct, so that now makes it 22-18. Closing in on a wee bit on you there. Still a wee bit ahead, of course, five games ahead. There's still a wee bit of a gap, but we'll do this week.
4 games.
4, is it?
4. I mean, you
Yeah,
could be
4,
telling
yeah.
you could be telling me anything. I don't know what the scores were. But
Yeah, go back and check it then. Anyway.
no. That's good, Xander, because I was quite a bit ahead. You've did a wee bit of catching up. Well done.
Yeah, it's just the Celtic ones I'm not getting right, John, into it. But there's still time for that as well, I suppose. Anyway, John, let's get into this because there's a lot on the Predictor this week. And we'll start with the Scottish Cup, as we say, Friday night. Airdrie against St Mirren. I'll be quick word on St Mirren, John, right? Team, I think you said on the Predictor that St Mirren have been dreadful, and they have been for a wee while now, haven't they? Until they face Hearts, John. And what a performance they boys put in against Hearts. They've put the league title back in their own hands, John. That's the way you've got to look at it. St Mirren have helped us put the challenge for this league title. It's in our own hands again. And what a performance and result for St Mirren against Hearts. You know, that's the Hearts team. You know, the fans were all over our channel, weren't they? Leaving comments, and everybody else's Celtic channel. Comments everywhere. They've been silenced, John, because there's not been one single comment from a Hearts supporter over the last few days.
I've seen Hearts fans on a couple of videos I think there was one decent guy, Hearts fan, came onto this channel and left a decent comment talking about the red card, I think. Talking about something anyway, but and look, there is decent Hearts fans out there, of course there is, but on a whole, you've seen them all over every Celtic video laughing and all that, and well, that's kind of took the smell off their face a wee bit with the St Mirren result. And you've noticed Hearts fans turning up their numbers at away grounds now. Where were they last season? You're lucky if you had 100 Hearts fans in the crowd at away grounds. Well, suddenly they're top of the league and they're all over the away grounds, filling out their allocations. Well, you can't blame them. They're top of the league. They're getting a bit excited about their team, aren't they? But I guarantee you one thing, they won't win the league. Yeah,
you've said that for day one, John. I think you're sticking to your words, and I totally agree. I see that us are our rivals that win the league, and that's a fact, John. But we'll wait and see. The one comment you're talking about, the Hearts support that came on, was somebody mentioning the waterlogged pitch, the Aberdeen waterlogged pitch, saying that the game should never have been called off. And he was absolutely right about that. That was a pathetic decision, John. We should be sitting second just now with a win over Aberdeen. Let's be honest. As you say, we'll now face Aberdeen further down the line, March or something, John, whenever that game's going to be rearranged. I know, as you say, they'll have a new manager. The players will all be back fit because they've got a lot of injuries just now, Aberdeen. And it's just a stitch up for me. It's a total stitch up. But anyway, John, I went through that already. Let's do the predictor. Well done to St Mirren, by the way, getting those fantastic 3 points. Stephen Robinson, decent wee manager, him actually, decent wee guy as well. Airdrie against St Mirren, John, what do you think?
I'll go for a St Mirren 1-2-0.
Right, what I'm going to do, John, I'm going to keep this safe. I'm going to write these down, keep them safe.
By the way,
it saves me going through all the videos again, trying to get the scores from last week, etc. You know.
Well, by the way, I was going to say that the Celtic against Aberdeen has been rearranged for the 4th of March, so that gives Aberdeen plenty of time to get themselves back in their feet.
Yeah, the 4th of March, John. Exactly what I said. March, unbelievable, isn't it? Sorry for rustling going on here. The 4th of March gives them, as you say, plenty of time. New manager, players back to full fitness, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter, John. It doesn't matter because, it's a game in hand that we must win. Even when it comes to it, we don't know what position we're going to be in come that game, but not way you look at it, it's a game that we must win going up to Pittodrie. So 2-0 to you, John, against St Mirren. I will say, St Mirren against Airdrie, sorry, I will say 3-1 to St Mirren. Just taking a wee note of these, John, right, so I don't need to do that again. Take me about an hour to go through all that today. Okay, moving on, Dundee United against Spartans.
I'll go for a United one. It's got to be United, isn't it? 3-0 United.
3-0 to Dundee United. Spartans, 4-0. I was going to say 4-1 there, but I'm not going to even give them a goal. Dunfermline against Celtic Hearts.
I don't know about that. Dundee United are quite poor, Sander. They're very poor. Yeah. Who was that?
Dunfermline, Lenny Watch against Celtic Hearts, John.
It's got to be Dunfermline, isn't it? I'll go for a... Be close right enough. Celtic Hearts seem to pick some no bad results up. So I'll go for a 3-1 to Dunfermline.
3-1 for John, and I'll say 1-0 to Dunfermline. And that one. Elgin against Partick Thistle.
It's got to be the Jags, isn't it? 2-0 to the Jags.
2-0 to the Jags for John. 3-1 to Partick Thistle. I'll give Elgin a wee home goal there. Aberdeen against Motherwell. All Premiership clash. Same as ourselves, John. Aberdeen against Motherwell.
Well, is our pitch all right now?
Yeah, I mean, I just still can't believe that, John. For the video I saw anyway, the pitch looked well drained. The ball was running freely. Bit of mud, get that in every single pitch up and down the country. And the referee comes onto the camera afterwards and says the ball wasn't moving freely. Where's the visual confirmation?
Well, this is it. Look, I've watched the game, Dundee United, the midweek game, Dundee United, was at Hearts last week. And the pitch was like a total spud field. All over the pitch. Where's the cancellation there?
Yeah.
If Aberdeen's pitch is not fit for purpose, they should be heavily fined for that. Causing fixture congestion. They're buying themselves time to get their team back up and running in time to face Celtic, because they knew they'd have been absolutely thumped that night if that game went ahead. Something stinks. I'm sorry, anybody listening, if an Aberdeen fan, even if you're a Rangers fan or whatever, something really stinks with that whole situation. That's no right. Something doesn't add up to me.
Yeah, especially when the video footage shows the total opposite from what the guy says. The ball's not running freely, it was rolling perfectly. There's puddles everywhere, there was no puddles. Anyway, John, let's get on with this. Time's running out. Aberdeen, Motherwell, John.
I hope Aberdeen get absolutely scalped. I hope Motherwell turn them over 4 or 5-0. I really do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go for 4-1 to Motherwell.
2-0 to Motherwell. And for me, that one. Rangers against, just very quickly, John. Rangers against Queen's Park.
Well, Queen's Park knocked him out last season. Was it last season or the season before? Bear that in mind. But this will be different, I think. And then they'll get a lot of... The Sefco will get a big lift from beating that big, strong team Kilmarnock with 10 men. What an achievement, Kilmarnock with 10 men.
For the whole game, yeah.
For the whole game, plus they should have had a play of their own centre-off. What an achievement.
Yeah.
I don't even care. I don't even want to get it right. I'll say nothing each. I don't even want to get it right. Don't care.
All right, and I'll say 2-0 to the Rangers in that one. Okay, St Johnstone against Brunei. St Johnstone against Ayr United Scottish Cup on Sunday, John. Sorry, it's the quarter-final of the Challenge Cup. Sorry, this is a different competition. Quarter-final Challenge Cup, St Johnstone, Ayr United, John.
I don't know. If I go for a St Johnstone one, I'll go for 3-2 to St Johnstone.
1-1, and that one for me, John. Obviously, these are all 90 minutes. And this is the extra bonus ball, folks. Get your guess in for this one as well. Celtic B versus Cumbernauld, if the game is indeed on, which it should be because the weather's been okay the last few days. Celtic B against Cumbernauld, John. What do you think? For 3 points, remember.
Aye. I'll go for a Celtic B one. I don't think I've done that for a long time, but I'm going to go for one here. I'm going to say 4-2 to Celtic B.
Wow, it's a lot of goals in it. I'll have I don't know. Celtic B are so poor, aren't they? But I'll say Celtic B as well. 2-1 Celtic B in that one for me, John. And Stuttgart, we're keeping an eye on them. Stuttgart away to St Pauli.
I'll go for a Stuttgart win. 2-1 to Stuttgart.
2-1 to Stuttgart. Yeah, decent team Stuttgart, and they really are. I'll say 2-0 then, John. 2-0 to Stuttgart in that one. And finally, last one, quite a few I went through there, John, but it's a big one, this one. Glasgow City against Celtic women, Celtic ladies, Celtic girls, whatever you want to call it. But it's a big one, John. Top of the league clash, third against first. Glasgow City against Celtic women.
Oh, I don't know. I've not watched any of the games for a long time, so I don't know even what the table situation is there or anything like that. Glasgow City have always been strong, haven't they? They always give the Celtic women, ladies, girls, females, whatever you want to call them. It's with a bit of mind that clown. I say it every time I mention the Celtic ladies. There's no such thing as ladies. Are you born in the 1940s or something? No. Anyway.
Well, his comment got you going anyway. Because you always mention it, and it's, the guy was a walloper, and we've got a new walloper of the week as well, by the way. Just listening out for that in a wee minute. Glasgow City are top, John. Celtic women, ladies, girls, females. They are third, John.
I'm going to go for a draw in that one. I'm going to say 2 each.
2-2. And it's away from home, so I'm going to say 2-1 to Glasgow City. Boo. There you go, John.
You're probably right.
So there you go. that wraps up the Predictor. Good luck, everybody, with your correct score guess for the Dundee game and the Celtic B game. Remember, get both guesses in because you don't want to miss out on the chance to get that extra 3 points because the Aberdeen game is postponed. Right, John, that wraps it up for us. We're done and dusted. Wallop of the week, Rory Loy from the BBC, absolutely creaming all over the place at the thought of, I can't remember the guy's name, somebody Moore for Rangers.
Hi, Mikey Moore.
Mikey Moore, absolute walloper of the week, Rory Loy. So congratulations to him. John, what's your sum up then before we go? What's your wee final word on this big game on Saturday?
Well, I thought you were going to ask my sum up on Walloper of the week.
No, we know who that is. I mean, you can't take that title away from him. You can have your thoughts about Rory Loy if you want, ex-Rangers man, but he is definitely Walloper of the week.
My Walloper of the week is the clown that failed to send off Tavernier at Ibrox. But just summing it up, I don't think you'll see any of the new boys starting. I think it will just be as it is. I think it will be the strongest team possible. And hopefully Celtic are a couple of goals up by half time. Then we can maybe see some new faces coming on, get a wee look at them later on in the game, get a look at Sirachi. See how he's developed with his fitness. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah.
But no, it's all about the win, isn't it? It's all about Celtic getting the win over the line. I think we will win it. I think we'll win it comfortably. I hope I'm right. Certainly don't want any fans of opposition teams coming on and saying ha 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 and laughing and all that, because we've had enough of that. There's even people laughing at Martin O'Neill.
I know.
It's unbelievable, by the way these Rangers and Hearts fans have been behaving. It's like Celtic are dead and they're having a laugh at it. But they seem to forget Celtic are only 3 points behind the top spot. Well, 6 points, 3 points if we won our game in hand. But look, we're still very much in the title race. We're still in the Scottish Cup. Things are looking well for Celtic. We've got a good few signings in. Hopefully they turn out well. But, it's all about getting everything sorted with the board, get the fans back in the stadium. If that all happens, if we can get that done, get this situation with the board sorted out, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But if it does happen, there's only one winner for both the trophies left to play for, and that's Celtic, Xander.
Yeah, that sounds good to me, John. As you say, these fans from opposite teams have got to bear in mind that the actual facts here, John. We're only 3 points behind if we win our game in hand. And of course, Rangers play Hearts very soon. And there's also tough games for both Hearts and Rangers coming up. So, tough games for us as well. We're no stupid. We do realise we've got tough games as well. But you can't go mouthing your gums about like that when you're only 3 points ahead. So, great point there, John. Brilliant. Right, John, that's it. Call it a day. Good luck to the champions. Remember, hit that like button. Share as well. Subscribe. Tell all your pals about us. Absolutely superb. Prizes given away the lot. Free of charge. Good luck with your competition entries as well, folks. Get your guesses in just now in case you forget. You want to get your guess in, don't forget about that. And we'll catch everybody on Monday. John will do the post-match reaction on the Monday, if that's okay with you. We'll see you Monday, buddy.
Catch you Monday, Xander. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail, John. Catch you later.